lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Michigan International Speedway, just south of Interstate 94 in Brooklyn, Michigan, the Western States Racing League is ready to go 160 miles around this 2-mile-long circuit. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Esports Broadcasting Network. The WSRL point standings are getting tighter in our top 5 as only 16 points separate 5th through 2nd positions. And these drivers are wrestling to see who's going to come out to challenge Bentley Glazer atop the pile. This should prove to be the most exciting night for racing all week long. So grab some popcorn, call your friends, and settle in. I'm Dave Regal alongside my partner in crime, Tony Trapasso, and we will be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, on the Esports Broadcasting Network. Tony, you are the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting. How are you feeling about this race tonight?
Can I go to bed yet?
Not yet. We have 80 laps to do.
Well then, laddie, since we are in the Irish hills of Michigan, at the house that Penske built, we are in for a very nice treat here tonight. And Dave, I think we need to get the elephant in the room right out of the way, as our very good friends over at Cast Iron Cooking have held true to their promise, and they've given us the Beltrami salami pizza. What a better way to start a race here at Michigan.
Absolutely, Tony. And I mean, we've been talking about it, they've been talking about it, and absolutely thrilled for the Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking to get this Beltrami salami pizza ready to rock and roll. I was just watching the video, and I'm I'm salivating. I'm in
I'm
full
still
salivation.
drooling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm still drooling.
No, so Dean the Fog Crawler and Joni the Teardrop Nanny out there getting it done for their boys here in the ESPN broadcast booth, and we can't be more appreciative.
And the thing is, that video went live today because of this.
Look, I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but beep, beep, beep. Like, I don't think there's too many other broadcasters that are getting their way with food and things like that, you know. It's kind of like at Wrigley Field when they bring hot dogs and stuff into the booth. This is almost as good.
I dare say it's better.
Well, tonight so far,
I mean, everything tastes better out of a cast iron pot.
I mean, that's fairly accurate. Well, tonight so far, we've got Bentley Glazer atop the pile, who's just
Shocker.
wrapped up. Yeah, shocker. As Julian Ricci sitting P2 right now. Dennis Fuson taking a look at him in the number 11 Tito's Handmade Vodka Chevrolet, turning his second qualifying lap here. Right now in P3, we'll take a look and see where he winds up. Charles Woods in the number 40 United States Postal Service Chevrolet, looking like he's posting P4 right now. And waiting
we're
on
about
Fuson
halfway
to come
through
around.
qualifying.
Just over halfway, as a matter of fact, and as Fuson comes across, looks like he will maintain that third position. Of course, it's going to be awful hard to beat a 39.94 as Bentley Glazer beats out Julian Ricci, who laid down a 40.00 flat. Dennis Fuson laid down 40.02. Bentley Glazer 39.94. So not a whole lot of margin for error here.
No, there's definitely not. But the other thing to keep in mind, Dave, we're dealing with a very hot and greasy track right now. As in sim time, it's about almost 2:30 in the afternoon. If you take a quick look at the weather while we're waiting on qualifying to come to an end, 79-degree ambient air temperature, that's bearable. 124-degree track temperature. Oh boy, let's melt some rubber on the racing surface today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, here's the thing. We've got 80 laps to go. These drivers out here, and we've talked about it on more than one occasion, these guys are almost the best in the business. I mean, you know, I'm not expecting to see too much psychosis breaking out on the track tonight. Of course, I probably just jinxed it, more than likely.
Of course you did.
But why not? That's what I'm here for. You know, but this league themselves, we're on, as Dean the Fog Crawler mentions in the Beltrami Salami video. Oh, Jeff Hollingsworth just shot to P2. We're going to pop in and take a look at him. But as Dean the Fog Crawler was mentioning, this is season 46, 23 years that these drivers have been together, organized, of course, by Mr. Beltrami. And I got to be honest, they are the highest skilled, and we talk about that iRating and these guys' skill levels every week, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you're not going to see a higher strength of field in many other leagues across the iRacing platform. You know, you're talking basically if you took this starting lineup and put it into the C official race for the trucks, you're talking about top split. You put these guys into the NIS races, fixed or open, doesn't matter. But you put them into either one of the NIS races, it's going to be the top split. You know, you have some of the best on ovals, on pavement, in iRacing here tonight.
Absolutely. And they are, of course, led by Bentley Glazer, who, as I did mention earlier, does sit atop the point standings right now. Kyle McCartney sits behind him in second position on that point standings list. 87 points out, but then it gets real hairy after McCartney. So Bob Beltrami is 9 points behind McCartney. Jeff Schmeier is 6 points behind Beltrami, and Brian Barnes is 1 point behind Schmeier. Now, interestingly enough, last week Jeff Schmeier, or not last week, but 2 weeks ago as we were off last week, Jeff Schmeier lost 2 spots in the standings and Beltrami gained 2 spots. So they have definitely leapfrogged one another here, leaving, Brian Barnes just sitting in the middle watching them dance over top of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Barnes hasn't really had a great season since they changed that Toyota on him. He started with the Toyota Tundra, and then iRacing rolled out the new version of the Tundra, and it doesn't seem to fit Barnes's driving style as well as the old truck did. I wonder if we're going to see him go back to the Silverado.
Well, to be completely honest, I wouldn't blame him. If you have something that works, the last thing you want to do is change it, especially when you're comfortable in it. Taking a look right now, speaking of Chevy Silverados, Eric Woods in one of our favorite paint schemes, that Woody-styled paint scheme in the number 85 Chevrolet, out here turning his now second lap here. First lap netted him P24. Jeff Schmeier just wrapped up his qualifying effort in P5. So everybody except for Brian Barnes, James Campbell, Keith Kelman, and Russ Kilgore have gone out to turn their qualifying effort tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As Woods going to come around for his second lap, that's going to end qualifying. Woods not going to get credited for it. But what do you say we go to the starting grid?
Absolutely, Tony. We'll pull that up right now. If iRacing's going to work with me here. There it is. Hello. Bentley Glazier on the inside of row 1 with Ryan Steele on the outside. Row 2, Jeff Hollingsworth and Julian Ricci. Row 3, Jeff Schmeier and William Fletcher. Row 4, Dennis Fuson and Charles Woods. Row 5, Bob Beltrami and Rob Gall round out your top 10 here on the starting grid.
Angelo Esso and Jose Perez Torres, or Javier Perez Torres, going to roll off in row 6. Fred Williams and Kyle McCartney rolling off in row 7. Row 8 goes to Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking's own Carl Burke. He's going to be joined with the 6 of Wayne Fleet on row number 8. Row 9 gives us Theo Bishop and Christian Bishop. So in all Bishop, row 9. Earl Weaver and Barry Phil rolling off in row 10. Row 11 goes to Scott Kukas and Dave Weaver. Troy Campbell and Eric Woods rolling off in row number 12. Row 13 is going to go to Daryl Scott and Paul Crumry. Dustin Burns, the last car to lay a time in qualifying, going to roll off inside row number 14. He's going to be joined with the 4 of the aforementioned Brian Barnes. Keith Kelman and Russ Kilgore in row 15, starting shotgun on the field. Back in row number 16 is going to be James Campbell in the 13 and Alan Bergen in the 23. One fast repair in their pocket tonight, Dave, and 100% fuel fill, but they've only got 4 sets of tires to get them through the 80 laps here at the house that Penske built.
Well, to be completely honest, and I'm not trying to press this any further with the league, but these drivers are just so good that, 4 sets of tires, to me, after everything that we've seen, especially with 80 laps, here tonight, as that iRacing.com pace truck leads the field off of pit road, 80 laps seems, and 4 sets of tires seems like that's way too many tires.
Well, you're starting with 1 set on the truck, so you're laying 3 in the pits. We should effectively see pit stops somewhere around lap 20 to 25, and then somewhere around between 45 to 50, and then you should be able to make it from there and still be laying a set should we get a late race caution.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And as these guys are getting their starting instructions from league owner Bob Beltrami, we do look through this field. And at this point, we have, as long as I've been here with WSRL, these are the usual suspects atop the pile. And Tony, it looks like those pace car lights are out as we're going into turn 3.
Absolutely. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, pace truck getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Bentley Glazier's going to have the button. The only thing that's left for me to say, folks, is it's time to wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, pop some popcorn and have some Beltrami salami pizza, because it's time to get it on in the Irish Hills. Race fans, it's showtime!
And as usual, Bentley Glazer taking the start here, gets himself in front of Jeff Hollingsworth and Ryan Steele. And looks like so far so good on the start here. Nobody really pushing things, of course. And as I say that, Dennis Foussan was down there on the inside, and Bob Beltrami working the inside of the 31 car of Rob Gall, as this little knot of cars with what looks to be Beltrami, Gall, McCartney, and Javier Perez-Torres, these four cars always seem to be running together toward the beginning of a race and almost in the same formation. It's like they're Thunderbirds or Top Gun.
Speaking of which, did you hear what's coming out this summer?
I did, and I just refreshed my memory and my movie prowess with Top Gun.
There you go.
I have to say, I'm pretty excited.
Ricci and Foussan go side by side down the backstretch. Ricci with a little bit more drafting help than Foussan, but Foussan keeping his foot in it in that Tito's Handmade Vodka number 11. Works to the inside of the ace of Ricci, and gonna get the nose out front. Slide job coming off of 4, and just like that, Foussan up into the top 5.
Yeah, he definitely thought better of hanging out there on the low side, cooking those tires off. And right now, looks like just behind him, back toward Rob Gall. Rob Gall, just about the only driver not in that top groove, which doesn't really mean too much this early in the race. As, you know, I got to be honest, here with 3 laps in, not a whole lot going on traffic-wise. Everybody's single file working on one another one at a time. These drivers in this league, you know, for you folks that are just tuning in for the first time, absolutely patient. This is like the Zen League. And now I do see the 11 of Dennis Foussan working the inside, getting ready to chase down Jeff Schmeier in the double deuce. For a couple of weeks, Jeff Schmeier was not in the double deuce. And now we see Jeff Hollingsworth. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
Hollingsworth wrestling the lead away from Bentley Glazer. He's bringing Steele with him. Steele has Foussan back there and Ricci for drafting help. Drag race into turn number 3. That is Steele on the low side, Glazer on the high side, as they are still side by side through the middle of 3 and 4. And it looks like Steele is going to wrestle the spot away from Glazer.
And we're now double file.
That, he makes a liar out of me.
Well, you know, they do that. They heard us talking about it. They said, no. I realize that you've worked a heck of a lot over the last week, but now we're going to mess with you a little bit more. As Ryan Steele working the inside of Bentley Glazer. Glazer, first time that I haven't seen him in the lead here at this track, actually, period, in the last several weeks, as he has just been a commanding driver all season long. And Jeff Schmeier.
Steele had to miss a couple of weeks because of shift work. Not able to make the call, but showing that he has very little rink rust, as we call it in hockey.
Absolutely, and me personally, I'm glad to see Schmeier back in the double deuces. That's what he was driving when I first came into the league here. So it's always nice. It just rolls off the tongue a little bit better, that Reformation Brewery double deuce Ford of Jeff Schmeier. And we see Julian Ricci working here to try to parallel park that one machine in between Schmeier and William Fletcher in the 28, but not enough room yet, and he doesn't seem to have the clearance as Foussan moving back up in front of Schmeier.
So Foussan continues to claw his way forward. Schmeier kind of content right now to just kind of ride. As here we go, battle for the lead. Ryan Steele on the inside, Hollingsworth on the high side. Steele gonna send it going into 1.
And hey, it's pretty early to be in full send mode, but in this league here, if you don't claim that spot early, you might not even get a chance at it later on in this race. I mean, we can see every one of these cars that has taken the track here tonight at 32 starting. We've got one up high and slow. And a little shuffle going on. It looks like going to say, looks like Christian Bishop. No caution yet.
Ooh. Let me go back and take a look at what happened there.
And right now, your top 5, Ryan Steele, Dennis Fuson, Jeff Hollingsworth, Jeff Schmeier, and Bentley Glazer, your top 5. What did you see, Tony?
Give me a second and I can tell you. Because I've got to change my camera view to check this out. If it's really what I think happened. Yep. The 25 tried to give the Spanish Archer to the 21 of Javier Perez Torres and ended up giving it to himself.
I'll tell you what. We were talking about it earlier, Tony, but this league is definitely becoming pretty lively tonight here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is some of the earliest hard-nosed racing we've seen in quite a while out of these guys. As Carl Burke making his climb forward right now as he's right on the tailgate of the 95 of Fred Williams.
Carl Burke, of course, in the number 53 Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking Chevrolet. And, again, I do want to shout those folks out over there at Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking, because without them, you and I wouldn't be here tonight. And,
without them, you and I wouldn't be anywhere near as heavy as we are either.
That's fairly accurate. I do love butter, and I love cast iron cooking. So those are my 2 favorite things. Butter should be in its own food group.
Nothing better than buttered bacon in a cast iron skillet.
My arteries just hardened thinking of it. In fact, yep, that's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Well, think about the recipe we saved last time we were on the air. Or shared last time we were on the air, I should say.
Every week it just gets worse and worse for us.
I'm still trying to get over 3 pounds of bacon and a 12-pound turkey.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, we would have to share that with somebody. Like, we would probably have to share that with some of the folks over at SRM, like, Frank Marchese and James Riles. We'd have to have everybody over to eat some of that, because we'd be dead.
Well, then what we need to do is we need to get a beer keg and an old truck box from a pickup, one of the steel ones that you put like behind the cab.
Oh yeah.
And make a smoker, and when y'all come up here for Super Dirt Week.
Super Dirt Week to me just sounds exciting. Sounds like something that should be sponsored by Tide or Gain.
Well, I think you're not wrong. Although it is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts.
Can we talk about sports and their appropriate sponsors? Can we talk about curling for a moment? We're going to. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to ask. Wouldn't it seem appropriate?
You're talking about ice shuffleboard.
Yes. Wouldn't it seem appropriate that curling should be sponsored by Swiffer?
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not wrong.
I feel like
the more you think about it, yeah.
Like every time I'm watching it on the Olympics channel because it's there, I feel like Swiffer would be perfect. It seems like they've really missed the mark.
Okay, what else you got?
That was basically that's pretty much the entire chamber right there.
I was going to say, who's going to sponsor baseball?
God himself. That is his favorite sport. What? What?
Anyways.
Don't look at me like that. I know you're looking at me like that. Listen.
I'm looking at you in that tone of voice.
Exactly. This is an audio medium. Thanks, everybody, for playing along tonight. And speaking of playing along, Jeff Hollingsworth just split Dennis Fuson and Julian Ricci for third position now as he's getting ready to set sail to go after Jeff Schmeier. And right now, Steele, Schmeier, Hollingsworth, Fuson, and Ricci atop the pile with 14 laps in the book so far. And looks like Bentley Glazer going to start working the inside of Julian Ricci here, coming through the front half of this D-shaped track here at the start-finish line. And just behind him, Charles Woods and William Fletcher are going at it hammer and tongs as It looks like Bob Beltrami ready to come in with that big pizza paddle and move them out of the way.
Well, he can get it from the Snap-on truck that's sponsoring Kyle McCartney's number 18, as they are in lockstep right now. Beltrami and McCartney, we know those two Toyotas know how to work very well together.
Now, do you think that if you had a pizza, like a big pizza paddle, and you got it from Snap-on, would you have to make payments on that, or is that reasonably cheap?
You do realize they charge $20 for a pen on the Snap-on truck, right?
I almost bought a utility knife from a Snap-on truck. Nearly had to mortgage a house I didn't own.
Exactly.
Bentley Glazer working the inside of Julian Ricci right now. I'll tell you what, it looks like Bentley Glazer kind of fell back here and said, no, I think I liked it much better out front. Maybe a little less stressful. You know, I think we've asked him before that sometimes I feel like Bentley Glazer must get awful lonely when he's riding up there up front all the time.
Yeah, but he's got all his friends around him right now. Although Dennis Husan is starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Glazer.
Well, you know, here's the thing. If I was Bentley Glazer riding atop the pile all the time, up here where Ryan Steele is, there's nobody in front of Ryan Steele. You know, and sometimes Bentley, look at this open track right in front of Ryan Steele. Sometimes that's got to get boring. I mean, he's just out here driving down the highway as if it's the Pennsylvania Turnpike or something.
Do you want him to drive through downtown Detroit?
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Carefully.
I don't think that's a good idea. It doesn't seem like there would be enough room for that truck to get wound up RPM-wise. That's what my concern would be.
Not with dodging all the potholes. Or pot heads.
That's fairly accurate. That is fairly accurate.
As Charles Woods making a look to the inside of Julian Ricci, that is your battle for sixth. Bob Beltrami right there within striking distance. It looks like he's already committed. He's going where the 40 goes. And just as I say that, here comes Kyle McCartney to try to shut the door on him.
Absolutely, and now it looks like, whoa, that United States Postal Service Chevrolet swinging to the inside. Looks like Kyle McCartney ready to try to split him and Beltrami as he's waiting to get maybe a little bit of a push from Rob Gall in the Fujifilm Chevrolet.
I see Gall back in a black truck.
Yeah, last week he had that white and red paint scheme, and I really didn't like it. Black just seems tougher to me, as now they've suddenly decided to go single file.
Well, we're 19 laps in, and, you know, like we said, around 20 to 25 is when we should be seeing tire stops. And if you take a look at the tire fall-off, you're looking at right around a second and a half right now.
Well, right now, Christian Bishop just coming in on lap 17, and Alan Bergen, for reasons I can't quite understand, came in on lap 13. So not sure if something happened with Alan Bergen, as we are at lap number 20, taking a look at Julian Ricci, and now it looks like Kyle McCartney getting ready to swing here to the inside as soon as he can see the door open behind Bob Beltrami.
Well, in front of them, we've got a 5-truck breakaway led by Ryan Steele. Hollingsworth has gotten by Schmeier for second. Schmeier holds down that number 3 spot in the double deuce. Then you've got the 11 of Dennis Husan, and the caboose in this 5-truck breakaway, which is a second and a half to the good, over McCartney, who currently sits in sixth, is your pole sitter and points leader, Bentley Glazer, and he's got about a 3-truck length gap to get up to the 11 of Husan.
Absolutely. We see that Tito's Handmade Vodka Chevrolet working the inside now of the double deuce of Jeff Schmeier. So if you're into squares here, it looks like 11 square coming up here. And right now, looks like he can't make the pass. Schmeier holding on here. I mean, Schmeier probably hasn't, because he hasn't changed lanes and has stayed up there higher. I'd be willing to bet tire wear for him is probably a little bit less abrasive right now than it is for Fusan, who has been working his way back up to where he is, as he's up 3 positions. But right now, your biggest move of the night, Russ Kilgore in the number 2 Blue Oval Ford. We're going to take a look right here at him. Of course, iRacing says he's the number 2, but His paint scheme says he's the number 7.
2-7. Piece of
They're
tape fell
close.
off.
Right. It's fine. It's fine. Rob Baker, Ford. And so he's up 13 positions, biggest mover of the night. One of the other big movers, of course, Kyle McCartney, who we have seen toward the top of every pile that we've seen week in and week out.
Yeah, absolutely. But getting back to Russ Kilgore in the 7-2, whatever you want to refer to him as, we say this week in and week out, this is why we don't let tech officials drink before handing out transponders.
Look, they're equal opportunity employers. Anybody with a pulse can get a job here.
They're equal opportunity alcoholics.
Look, I do not separate the alcohol. It's either good or it's gone.
Everclear.
No.
The only thing Everclear is good for is mixing with Hawaiian Punch.
Speaking of mixing things with drinks, so I was listening to the Dale Jr. download again, and they were talking about mixing Sundrop with vodka.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
Do you know what Sundrop is?
I do know what Sundrop is.
Okay.
I am.
Those of you out there who have not been able to go south of the Mason-Dixon in the United States on the East Coast, Sundrop is basically the North and South Kakalaka version of Mountain Dew. It's a regional beverage.
Can you get your tongue untied there, or you need a moment?
This is my 6th broadcast this week, and it's only Tuesday. And I'm not drunk enough for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting, Tony Trapasso. Take a bow, sir.
No.
Listen.
That would require me to get out of my wheelchair.
Well, about that. Don't do that, but we'll just spin you around really quick. Hold on.
Like that scene from Farm Truck and Asian where they put the 2 nitrous bottles each aiming in a different direction on the office chair and pull the pin on him at the same time, and Asian spins around and he thought his legs were going to detach.
Yes, that's exactly how it's going to go.
Great.
You know, here's the deal. I mean, we get to do this all the time, and I mean, I know that you do it more than anybody.
What, pick on me?
No. Sit here and do... No, I would never pick on you intentionally. Yes, I would. Who am I kidding?
I was going to say, what the hell, man?
Yeah, you're right. I'm an equal opportunity.
Battle for third hot and heavy right now with Dennis Fuson and Jeff Schmeier.
Yeah,
Bentley Glazer right there within striking distance.
Wow! And it looks like Schmeier's going to try to slide right in there. That's a Code Brown moment if you're Bentley Glazer and you see Jeff Schmeier coming right up in front of you. Here with 27 laps in the book so far of 80. It looks like they're gonna push this until the fuel runs out, Tony.
That's what it looks like, which 2 mile, I dare say right around lap 35-ish on fuel. So it looks like just about everybody looking to make this a 2-stop race.
I mean, I'll tell you what, again, we talk about the skill of these drivers, and if any league in iRacing can stretch their fuel and tires, it's these drivers right here. Ryan Steele, Jeff Hollingsworth, Kyle McCartney, Bob Beltrami, these guys from stem to stern, they are tire-saving wizards.
You shall not pass.
None shall pass.
That too.
Do you think they know the knights that say knee? They just want a shrubbery.
Sure, why not? It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. Actually, everybody pretty clean tonight here with 29 laps in the books. As no flesh wounds, not even a little bit of sheet metal crinkle. And first driver to blink is Brian Barnes in the number 4 Toyota, sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame, as he is going to come down and get some pit road service, Tony.
Remind me that when I regain... oh, boy.
And that'll be our first caution. Let's see what happened.
Looks like something with the 40. Yeah,
I'm going to take a look here at Barry Phil. Wow! I'll say.
that's a basic physics lesson right there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'll tell you what. The 7 car definitely, or the 7 truck definitely had a Code Brown moment as
Russ
Barry was
Kilgore
coming.
doing everything he could not get involved in that one.
As Barry was coming back up the track.
Not a lot of damage on the 95, but oh yeah, no, there's a ton of nose damage on that truck. He's probably going to have to burn his fast repair on this one.
Well, you know what? At lap 30, I would say that's not a bad thing overall. Of course, what that does do is puts everybody on the same pit cycle as everybody's coming down, but it's going to be an interesting choice here now for Brian Barnes, who's going to be P1.
Yeah, because he was already on pit road when pit road closed, so.
Literally everybody has come down, so this is more than wholesale pit stops. This is a liquidation sale on tires and fuel.
Pretty much, yeah. A little bit of Sunoco E85, 4 Goodyear Wranglers, and you're good to go. Ryan Steele winning the battle off pit road. Jeff Hollingsworth, Dennis Husan, Bob Beltrami gaining a couple spots. Bentley Glazer not having a good time on pit road itself. It wasn't a horrid stop in his box, but the cone-to-cone for Glazer was almost 2 seconds to the arrears of those around him. And we will be back right after these words from our sponsor.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing it's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series. And we are back with the Western States Racing League from Michigan. Green flag is back out. We are back underway. Ryan Steele getting a great jump. Here comes Hollingsworth looking to get a 2 for going through 3 and 4. Has a full head of steam, was full send it mode. Very committed out of the United States Coast Guard, number 97. Drag race to the stripe. Give the lap to Hollingsworth.
And I'll tell you what, in a situation like this, especially with the strategy that we see week in and week out here, Hollingsworth being able to take that top spot this early in this stage of the race, you know, after getting fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. I mean, this is the time, if you're going to make the move, make the move. I mean, you know, Fuson here chasing down Bob Beltrami. And I got to be honest, Beltrami not usually as aggressive as he's been tonight, as it looks like he's getting ready to try to pass Ryan Steele on the high side, trying to catch some draft off the rear of Hollingsworth as Hollingsworth dives down now to see if he can get some more momentum. This is an interesting looking salad bowl here, Tony.
Very much so, and you know, we normally say it's the usual suspects at the front of this thing. I mean, let's call it like we see it. Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Steele, Bob Beltrami, Dennis Fuson, Jeff Schmeier, Bentley Glazer, Charles Woods, Kyle McCartney, Rob Gall, and Julian Ricci running out your top 10 right now. Those are the usual suspects.
Absolutely, and your biggest mover of the night so far is Russ Kilgore in the number 7 Ford here from Rod Baker Ford, as he comes past that picnic area out of turn 4 back onto the front stretch. And, you know, we can't even really call it a tri-oval, as this is kind of more of a D-shaped track, wouldn't you say?
Very much so.
You know, last night I was calling a race for Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series, and it always messes me up at Talladega when the start-finish line is almost in turn 1. You know, you see everybody coming through the tri-oval, and, you know, here everything is at least even like that.
You know, I mean, you're not wrong. But it definitely does change the dynamic of how you race Talladega as opposed to someplace like, say, Daytona, or even here at Michigan or Auto Club, because you know that the start-finish line is right dead center of the arc of the front chute, whereas at Talladega it's way past the exit of pit road even.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, right now, Dennis Fuson, speaking of pit road, as they pass the exit from pit road, going down here into turn 3, Fuson, this is uncharacteristic of him. I don't know what happened to some of these drivers tonight, but everybody seems to be cranked up and ready to rock and roll here, as Kyle McCartney working the inside now of the number 40 United States Postal Service Chevrolet, driven by Charles Woods. I mean, these drivers are out here not with hammers and tongs, but my goodness, pitchforks and torches, Tony.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we had last week off. Everybody was able to recharge, and they're ready for Michigan. But if you take a look at what's coming up, it's basically Murderer's Row for the next couple of weeks. We've got Michigan tonight, then we go to Loudon, Mo Sport up in Toronto, Eldora on the dirt, and then Phoenix. Then we've got an off week before the season finale in Vegas.
Well, you know, and that's an interesting progression. I'm going to take a look here at Julian Ricci, who is now on the inside of McCartney. You know, Ricci, one of those drivers that we see every week, he's improving. I just saw sparks flying. This is starting to get a little wild here. But Ricci, one of those drivers that every week it just seems like he is improving. This is not a developmental league, folks. You know, here's the thing in iRacing, and I think that this is a new topic for you and I to cover. But, you know, in real life racing, the truck series is generally one of the developmental leagues, you know, or one of the developmental series, along with Xfinity. But here on iRacing, trucks are probably one of the most popular, styles of vehicle to be out here racing in.
Yeah, because of the feel of the truck compared to just about everything else out there in the iRacing server. And it looks like we've got some issues going on right around Carl Burke and Paul Crumry. Oh,
Taking
Rob
a
Gall
look.
having connection issues.
Is it full moon, Tony? It's got to be close, right?
No,
My goodness.
no, it's a waning moon right now.
Well, Carl Burke here in the number 53 Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking Chevrolet, logging his laps, and we've talked about it before, but I feel like it begs that we talk about it again. You know, oftentimes we're always talking about the people in the live chat. Folks, by the way, if you are watching us live on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you can be notified every time that we broadcast here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. But, you know, Tony, you and I are always making sure that we're giving people the shout-outs and the credit that they're due, but something kind of unique happened for us tonight.
Yeah, we got a shout out, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's definitely not normal. And,
No.
I mean, I'm
But
very
then again,
appreciative.
neither of either of us.
Oh, no, we definitely belong in our own special section.
My mom
You-
says it's special.
Well, my mom said I was special too, and my dad had other sentiments to share with me about it. But you know, we're kind of like at the. It makes you feel like you're at the cool kids table, as we've been begging Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking to do a little mashup, and today the Beltrami Salami Pizza webisode has been launched on YouTube by Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking. Dean the Fog Crawler and Joni the Teardrop Nanny out there getting it done for their boys here in the ESPN broadcast booth, and I can't be more thankful. I'm genuinely humbled by, you know, what Dean and Joni did for us.
Well, Bob also played a big hand in it too, because Beltrami salami is not available in your major grocery stores. It is through Bob himself. It is all handmade salami, custom-made salami, and Bob makes it himself in small batches. So Howard. But you know, getting back to, you know, what we were talking about with, you know, the field here and just how strong these drivers are. I just went through and did my tally like I normally do on the top 10. Your current top 10 of Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Steele, Bob Beltrami, Dennis Husan, Jeff Schmeier, Bentley Glazer, Charles Woods, Kyle McCartney, Julian Ricci, and Carl Burke. You want to take a guess what their combined average I rating is?
I'm gonna say 3,100.
35.7.
That's impressive. That's incredible.
To give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen at home that aren't in the iRacing servers, iRacing uses what they call your I rating to determine your skill set. The higher your I rating, the better, air quote, driver you are. So the more skilled they think you have. They're not going to put somebody with a 400 I rating in the same field as someone with a 4,000 I rating 99% of the time. If that situation should arise, the person with the 4,000 I rating better win the race over the person with the 400 I rating. I personally have about a 1,400 on Pavement Oval.
I just crossed the 1,500 I rating, but they wrote mine in crayon because they know it's never going to last.
Right.
I'll have, you know, me personally as a driver, I'll have a
looking
couple
at-
of good weeks and then go right back to being trash.
Absolutely. I'm looking at 4 drivers right now in the top 10. And I bet we can all name them together of who have I ratings north of 4,000.
That is rarefied air up there.
Yes, it is. That is some of the best of the best. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Junior has a 4,000 I rating.
You know what? I'm not sure, and somebody had asked
I'm
me
going
that
to go
question
look
the
at
other.
this.
While you go look at that, I'm going to look here at Bob Beltrami in that Beltrami Salami Toyota Tundra, working the inside of Bentley Glazer in his number 87 Gatorade Chevrolet, and looks like Beltrami decided to back off and get behind the 87 of Bentley Glazer. And folks, we are glad to have you with us tonight here on ESPN. And of course, you can always check us out here on YouTube. Look for ESPN. Check us out, of course, on Facebook as well, on Sim Racing Media, and our website, simracingmedia.com, where you can pick up some merch and find out some other things that we are doing because, you know, to be completely honest, we are busy. You know, Sim Racing Media has just completely exploded over the last, I would say, about 3-4 months, as we've got 14 shows that run regularly. Of course, Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. is the cleanracing.net racing series at 8:30 p.m. Tuesdays, of course, here we are in the nightcap. The Night Shift Racing League runs at noon, and Tony and I will talk about that in a minute, as the All-American Racing League Truck Series is at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesdays. Of course, here we are in the nightcap in the Western States Racing League at 10:15. Then on Wednesdays, the Thunderclap Stock Car Series featuring Tony Trapasso and our good friend Mr. Frank Marchese at 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday takes off. And then the Ghost Cup Series at 9:10 p.m. We do have another slot open on Wednesdays now, as our old show that was there has not decided to renew. Then Thursdays at 1 p.m., there's going to be a live Q&A over on Facebook on Sim Racing Media's Facebook page. And then the USRA series is at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. Friday nights is the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway series at 8:30, followed by the Kool-Aid
And that's
Monster
a
Next
special
Gen.
race this week.
All right, so we'll cover that along with the NSRL. Then the Kool-Aid Monster Next Gen Cup Series at 9:30 p.m. on Friday. Saturdays, we do one-time shows, special things. And Sunday, that's the big day. A
Hold on.
quadruple header.
Hold on, Dave. You're getting ahead of yourself, my friend,
What do you got?
because this coming Saturday, we do have a special event.
Oh, that's right. There is
We
a
have
big race.
the money race,
The SRM 200.
SRM 200 from Atlanta, this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. So
And that should prove to be pretty exciting, as I know that lots of the drivers have now gotten in and gotten that set up so they can be practicing, and that's going to be a heck of a show, Tony.
yes, it will be. But getting back to what you were saying, Sunday we've got a quadruple header again.
You know, and I'll tell you what, Sundays, 3:30 the IFL, then ISNF at 5:30, Fired Up Esports League at 7:30, and then the Davis Brothers Roofing SNN Cup Series at 8:30 p.m. And if you like hanging out with Tony and I, also, we will be recording our third episode of the podcast series, the Sim Racing Media Money Stop. Not sure exactly which day we'll be recording it, but look for that around Friday this week. And also, something that you and I haven't talked about yet, Tony, is Saturday. I don't know if I'm going to be on time for the SRM 200 running on Saturday night, because I'm taking a special trip.
Are you going to the insane asylum again?
Well, I mean, if you want to call it, it's 1 mile of concrete oval insane asylum.
Oh, you're going to that insane asylum.
Yes.
So I do have an answer on the Dale Earnhardt question that we were talking about earlier.
All right, go ahead.
If Dale Earnhardt Jr. were in this race right now, he would only have the third highest I rating.
Really?
Third.
Huh.
He's a 45.09.
Do you think he's busy on Tuesday nights? Maybe we could get him to come out here?
I was wondering the same thing. I'm thinking about sending him PM.
That'd be so cool.
Absolutely. But Ryan Steele currently showing the way here, 47.71. Jeff Hollingsworth, 46.06. The next highest I rating belongs to, want to take a guess who it is?
I honestly don't. I know
Your
I'm
points
gonna be-
leader and three-time defending series champion Bentley Glazer with a 43.85.
That's incredible. I mean, these drivers have been out here working their tails off. And I mean, keep in mind, folks, that those I ratings and those skill levels that are being dictated by that I rating, they don't come from leagues like this. That comes from public racing. That comes from racing against complete and total strangers. You're taking your life into your own hands at that rate.
as we like to call them, rooms full of randos.
That's impressive.
You're welcome.
Well, and tonight so far, Ryan Steele, Jeff Hollingsworth, Bentley Glazer, Kyle McCartney, Dennis Fuson, Bob Beltrami, Charles Woods, Carl Burke, Julian Ricci, and Paul Crumry, your top 10. You know, one of the leagues that I had just, glazed across here was the Night Shift Racing League. I'm not sure who's calling that race here on
Jason
ESPN.
Soffert.
Alrighty then.
Our relative Brit.
Yes. That's exciting, too. He's getting ready to call an 87s race with you, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Special race this coming Friday. We're actually going back into the archives of the Rowdy Energy Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, and we are going to be airing a race from 1987 with those folks. Now, the only problem is it's not on DVD, it's not on Blu-ray, it's on VHS tape.
Look, I'm excited. You should be excited. We have 25 laps to go here, in this race, and I'm looking forward more so to those 87s.
Yes. But I do want to check in with the live chat right now. Beth Mills saying that Sundrop Cherry is the best. Beth, I've got to disagree with you there. If I'm going for a cherry cola or soda, whatever you want to refer to it as, pop, if you're in that part of the country, I would have to go with Cheerwine. That is probably one of the best cherry-flavored beverages on the market today.
Can you educate me on the Cheerwine? I used to race in the Moonshiners Racing League, and one of the drivers in that league was sponsored by Cheerwine. What is it?
It's a cherry-flavored soda beverage.
Cherry-flavored soda beverage. I can go with that.
And as a matter of fact, I can pretty much guarantee you that the driver who has Cheerwine on their car is probably a Morgan Shepherd fan, because for quite a few years, when he left the Woods Brothers and started his own program, he was sponsored by Cheerwine.
Well, folks, just in case you weren't sure if you were going to hear Morgan Shepherd's name tonight, there it is. Quite a name drop, Tony. There are certain brand. Wow, we are 3 wide with Bentley Glazer, Kyle McCartney. Bentley Glazer going down pit road. That's an interesting choice here, as he has blinked first with 22 to go.
Interesting. Well, you got to wonder who's going to be the next to blink. Is Kyle McCartney full send it mode on the inside of Ryan Steele coming out of 2. Drag races. Hollingsworth is poking his nose there. And Hollingsworth now has to deal with Beltrami, as Beltrami's looking to get a 4-fer. Beltrami to the point. No, Beltrami's a lap down.
Beltrami is a lap down, but it was a really, really enthusiastic lap down here. And
I can't give Angel crap anymore over his call a couple weeks ago.
It happens. Looks like Hollingsworth coming down, Rob Gall coming down pit road, as it looks like it's about to be wholesale pit stops here under green. I think we're going to see McCartney stay out pretty much until he runs out of fuel.
That's usually the case. Same with Steele.
Yeah. These drivers very good at saving their tires. I don't think that they're going to have too many issues here stretching that tank all the way out. Now it sounds like David Weaver getting ready to pit this time around.
That's what I heard. And McCartney's in. Thanks, Kyle. You made a liar out of both of us.
That's fine. That's why we're driving. That's why we're not driving and we're up here in the broadcast booth.
So McCartney in, Charles Woods is in, Julian Ricci's in, David Weber is in. Hollingsworth and Glazer and Beltrami have all made their money stop. They've made their bet. It's time to lie in it. Same with Schmeier in the double deuce. Effective race lead right now belongs to Schmeier, as everybody in front of him still has to pit. And
Paul Crumry out here in third position, hanging on here. Sounds like the 07 getting ready to dive down pit road, as Keith Kelman and Well, 62, I believe, Daryl Scott.
Yes.
And then there were two, Tony. Dennis Fuson and Paul Crumry. Is this a
And
game of chicken?
it better not be, because Schmeier is on a tear right now.
Well, just remember, Jeff Schmeier might be on a tear, but he did just come in. Oh, my. Looks like Ryan Steele, William Fletcher, Carl Burke, everybody down on pit road, and Jeff Schmeier just shuffling himself all the way forward.
Schmeier currently running in third position, 27 seconds off the back of Paul Crumry. Last lap for Schmeier, 40.41. Jeff Hollingsworth just at his quickest lap for the race with a 39.81 last time by. And he is all over Bentley Glazer.
Absolutely. And
Sorry, that's Glazer all over Beltrami.
Well, and Beltrami here with Glazer hot on his trails, crossing the start-finish line. Glazer looking to the inside here as Bob Beltrami riding the high side, going to cede the position to Glazer in that number 87 Gatorade Chevrolet, as Beltrami closing in here to see if they can maybe just do a little do-si-do action coming down the backstretch.
Well, they're going to have to get that sorted out pretty quick, because they got a very hungry Jeff Hollingsworth closing in on both of them, as Fuson and Crumry both bring it pit side.
Well, that'll change things, as that's going to put Jeff Schmeier up in P1 now. Jeff Schmeier, your new race leader, as he gets ready to cross the start-finish line, going into turn 1 and 2 now, followed by Bentley Glazer, Bob Beltrami, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Kyle McCartney. All of those trucks coming in from lap 54 to 60, so McCartney does have the fresher tires, as we're going to see if that plays a factor here.
The question is, 17 laps, does he have enough time to do anything with it? As Hollingsworth and Beltrami go side by side going into turn number 3, Hollingsworth's just going to send it on the boss.
Well, and I'll tell you what, at this stage in the race, and we're going to take a run back and look at it quick since we do have the time. I'm working on it. Here it comes. And as we take a look here, we see the number 97 of Hollingsworth just flooring it and hitting that loud pedal to go all the way past Beltrami without even blinking. So, like we've been talking about, the drivers tonight definitely more aggressive than we are used to seeing.
And again, it has to go back to the fact that they were off last week. Everybody had a chance to practice here. Everybody had a chance to kind of recoup and regroup. And they're all very anxious in the closing races of this season, as there goes McCartney past Beltrami. Beltrami's 4-lap advantage is basically null right now, as I'm keeping my eye on Glazer and Hollingsworth as they are quickly reeling in your leader, Jeff Schmeier. Almost a half a second to the good.
And here they are getting ready to work around James Campbell in the number 13 Blue Oval Ford. As they come through the Geico restart zone, Campbell gets down close enough to the apron, but it looks like he's not going to be willing to just easily get out of the way, as he is now drifting to the high side to allow Hollingsworth and Glazer a little bit of time to pass. And now they are setting sail back after Jeff Schmeier in the number 22 Reformation Brewery Ford. And, right now his lead slowly evaporating, as it's now down to just 0.6 of a second.
Works out to about 10 truck lengths right now, as Glazer and Hollingsworth 0.4 to the good that last time by. Schmeier's got to be sweating bullets right now, because Bentley Glazer hasn't had the last handful of races go his way. Jeff Hollingsworth definitely hasn't had the last handful of races go his way. And Kyle McCartney would just as soon restart the season right now.
Is there anybody, I got to be honest, there's nobody that I would want in my rearview mirror any less than Bentley Glazer on the, oh, and Bentley Glazer moving to the low side to get around the double deuce. I mean, look, if I'm Jeff Schmeier and I see Bentley Glazer in my rearview mirror, I'm starting to get a little sweaty. And now Kyle McCartney, nearly makes contact with the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Now we're about to be 3 wide with the double deuce on the top, Jeff Hollingsworth in the middle, and Kyle McCartney on the low side, as now it's about to be a 4-car battle for the lead. And, of course, there's James Campbell just hanging on. Not really sure what he's watching right now or what he's trying to pull off, except to be the
learning.
Lucky dog.
That's what he's doing right now. Is he's learning. He's seeing what the fast guys are doing, and he's trying to stay with them.
I mean, if you're going to learn from somebody, it should definitely be these 4 guys up here in the top.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The only one missing from this little fracas are Bob Beltrami and Ryan Steele, as we're 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide for the lead here.
McCartney wisely backing out of it.
You know, with 11 laps to go, it's time to take care of these trucks the best that you absolutely can, because you don't want the bad stuff to happen this close to the end.
No, this would completely destroy any race strategy that you have at this point.
Absolutely, and it seems just at this stage in the race, this is the most exciting battle we have right now. As I'm going to quick pull up the battle box if I can find it. There it is. And we're just going to watch this battle for first, because I think that this is where all the heat is about to be, as it looks like Kyle McCartney looking to the inside of Bentley Glazer and maybe trying to get a 2-for-1 deal as he heads toward Hollingsworth.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to wrestle and get into an OGR sandwich at this point. Now says the sights on trying to reel in Hollingsworth. We're 10 to go, so plenty of racing left here as McCartney looks to the inside of Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth going to pinch down on the 18, not really let him get a run. McCartney's going to back up, get into the draft, coming through the front chute, and try to pick up the 97. Doesn't want to show his hand too early, though.
No, absolutely not. And right now, Bentley Glazer working. This is kind of strange. Usually we see at this stage in the race Kyle McCartney chasing down Bentley Glazer, but this time it's almost like they're reversed, where Bentley Glazer is trying to chase down Kyle McCartney, and Jeff Hollingsworth usually in that 3rd position. So, again, Michigan seems to have suddenly become a wild card event here.
Very uncharacteristic of Michigan International that, we've got such close racing this late. Normally, this race is a runaway. As McCartney looks to the inside of Hollingsworth, gets about a half a truck length to the good. Hollingsworth, though, going to battle back on the top side and get the run down the back chute. McCartney not able to wrestle the lead completely away, does not get the clear. Here comes Hollingsworth back on the top side.
And Hollingsworth in that Coast Guard board. Wow, they just about make contact here. Does Hollingsworth and McCartney. And it looks like Hollingsworth in that Chevrolet trying to see if he can do the crossover move. But McCartney right now just too strong in that Snap-on Tools number 18 Toyota Tundra, Tony.
Absolutely. As McCartney going into turn 3 that last time, ZFG, just full send it mode.
Well, and this is a stage in a race where full send is the only 2 words that really matter between now and the time that the checkered flag waves. I mean, Bentley Glazer back here, it's almost like the 13 is hampering him a little bit, as Glazer's trying to get him to push him up into these top 2, but the 13, of course, still staying low. I feel like he'd be a little bit better off if the 13 was going to just get behind him so they could set sail together.
Well, Glazer's gotten behind the 13 to try to do it the other way. As we are 6 to go, McCartney shows the way. Hollingsworth there, Glazer within striking distance, as they've now opened up a second gap back to Jeff Schmeier, currently sitting in 4th. Ryan Steele's another second to the arrears in 5th. Bob Beltrami's another second and 3/4, and then you're a half a second back to Dennis Fuson.
And Dennis Fuson in that Tito's Handmade Vodka Chevrolet chasing down Bob Beltrami in the Beltrami Salami Toyota Tundra. I'll tell you what, early on here in the race, Beltrami was up here giving everybody a run for their money, as well as Dennis Fuson. But right now, your biggest movers of the night are Paul Crumry, and then at number 15, Dr. Pepper Chevrolet, Brian Barnes in the number 4 NASCAR Hall of Fame Toyota Tundra. And these drivers have clawed their way through this field that is just so talented. But of course, the most important big mover of the night, Kyle McCartney here atop the pile.
McCartney up 13, currently shows the way, about 5 truck lengths clear on Jeff Hollingsworth. As we are going to be 4 to go as they come out of turn number 4. Once they cross the stripe, 4 laps to go here at Michigan. 8 miles, that's all it is. 8 miles left in this race here tonight for season number 46 of the Western States Racing League. Kyle McCartney showing the way. You are watching the Esports Broadcasting Network. Whoa, big wiggle for Hollingsworth coming off a 2. Tell me he's not driving the daylights out of that United States Coast Guard, number 97.
Oh,
George
he
Bassel
absolutely
and Dave
is.
Regal up in the booth with you tonight. As we do want to thank everybody for joining us in the closing laps here, as McCartney in command of this one. McCartney, Hollingsworth, Glazer, Schmeier, Steele, Fuson, Beltrami, Woods, Ricci, and Carl Burke rounding out your top 10 right now. Just on the outside looking in is Paul Crumry, as he has given Burke all he can handle right now. As Brian Barnes and Rob Gall slugging it out for 13th. We are 3 to go. It'll be popsicle sticks in the air the next time by for Kyle McCartney as he comes off of turn number 4. Barry Phil telling everybody around him that he's just going to stay high. Hollingsworth trying to use Phil for a little bit of drafting help.
And Barry Phil, who we haven't talked about for quite a while, just out here logging laps, now the lucky dog. Of course, that's become completely irrelevant as nothing else really to do here but to get ready to see that white flag laundry up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. As everybody telling the leaders where they're going, as it is going to be white flag coming out. Are we racing back to the checkers? McCartney comes off of 4 with a full head of steam to the stripe. We are racing back to the checkers.
And I'll tell you what, Tony, here on lap number 80, I mean, these drivers have worked their tails off. Kyle McCartney has earned this win. And even as I look back here to Jeff Hollingsworth, Ryan Steele, Bentley Glazer, these drivers have not given 1 inch of racetrack tonight as far as trying to, be polite. The only ones who have been polite so far tonight are the lap trucks, and rightfully so.
Well, I wouldn't say anything malice was done,
Oh,
but
absolutely not, no.
we've seen some hard-nosed racing where no quarter asked for, no quarter given, as McCartney comes off of turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Your winner, driving the Snap-on Tools Toyota Tundra, Kyle McCartney. Hollingsworth coming home in second. Glazer able to hang on for third. Ryan Steele crosses for 4th. Jeff Schmeier hangs on for 5th. As the 04 hand grenades the engine going through 1 after the checkers fly. And everybody coming over the chat right now in sim, they sound exhausted.
And they should be. I'll tell you what, these drivers have worked their tails off all night long. They have not given an inch. And, Bob Beltrami, who we're taking a look at right now, just assembles some of the greatest drivers that I've seen on the iRacing.com servers. And we see Kyle McCartney here in the number 18 Snap-on Tools Toyota Tundra, celebrating here on the front stretch as he has earned himself this win tonight. Things have definitely gone his way here at Michigan International Speedway as we're waiting for the top 3 to come into the broadcast booth.
Dave, while we're waiting for them, what do you say we step away and pay a couple of bills?
Absolutely great idea, Tony.
Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, they're wrecking! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series. Okay. All right, let me know when you're ready. And we are back at the Michigan International Speedway. You have just finished watching 83 laps for the Western States Racing League, round number 15 of season 46. Joining us now in the victory lane, Kyle McCartney. Congratulations on finally getting that monkey off your back after a few weeks.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Man, hot dog, that was fun. I didn't think I really had a chance of winning tonight, and boy, it just kind of fell into my lap there. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, pit strategy was definitely going to be the key, and it looks like you timed it just perfect to come down for the money stop.
Yeah, I nailed the stop really well, especially getting on the pit road, and I knew with Bentley and Jeff pitting a couple laps in front of me that if I didn't catch your draft coming out, I was going to be hosed, and I think I just barely caught it enough to hang on there until we started reeling Bob in. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and man, that was some tough work there. We were definitely wheeling those things.
Yeah, and we could see that from the word go. But, you know, Kyle, you had one of the best runs of the night, up 13 from where you started. What happened in qualifying?
You know, your guess is as good as mine. I threw down a lap that probably would have been third or fourth just in practice by myself, but I thought I had a good lap, and then when the time came up, I was like, well, this isn't good, and I just watched myself fall down the order there. So glad we kept it clean. You know, I had to make sure not to ding the fenders up or slap the wall, so that way I wouldn't cost myself time, and I managed to do that, and it worked out in the end.
Well, Kyle, again, congratulations on winning here at Michigan. We still have a few races left in the season. Next week we go to the Miracle Mile up in Loudon, New Hampshire. What are your thoughts going into that flat one?
You know, yeah, I haven't mixed emotions about that track, but really, I'm just hoping we can get through there and on to Moseport, because I'm looking forward to doing some more road course racing.
Yeah, that seems to fall right into your wheelhouse. But, Kyle, before we let you go celebrate with your team, who do you need to thank for tonight?
Well, I got to give a shout out to my wife, my mom, she's watching. And
Hi,
my
Mom.
little bro, yeah, hey, Mom. My little bro, Corey, and Greg DeVries, they tune in every single week, so I appreciate it. And hopefully that gets you guys some more brownie points on YouTube there. But not only that, you guys at ESPN do a great job week in, week out, and it's a lot of fun watching the races afterwards. And I just appreciate everything you guys do.
Well, you guys give us a lot to talk about out there on track. So thank you for all that you do, and we will see you next week at Loudon.
All right, catch you guys later. Have a good week.
So that was Kyle McCartney. And Dave, I believe you've got the driver of the United States Coast Guard, number 95, with you now.
I do. Jeff Hollingsworth, Dave Riegel up in the ESPN broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Pat. Hey, Frank.
Listen, Jeff, you really put things together tonight. I mean, you know, to stay up here in the top three all night long. I mean, the rest of everybody else, you know, usually Tony's tagline is, you know, they're going at it hammer and tongs, but I think I saw torches and pitchforks out there tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, we were wheeling. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Good
Listen,
track.
it was fun just sitting here in the broadcast booth watching. I mean, what did you have to do to make sure that you were staying up there in the top 3 all night?
Not wreck.
All right, fair enough. Listen, I've
Yeah, it was.
It
It was
seems
loose
so
off.
simple when he says it that way.
to be to be fair, and we have talked about it at ad nauseum. Like, this has to be one of the cleanest leagues that I see in all of iRacing. I mean, you guys from stem to stern are always great. I mean, Jeff, you got that 97 cranked all the way up there in P2 tonight without even blinking, except that your arms are probably ready to fall off. I mean, how is the setup for that, since this is a fixed setup league?
The setup was good. I don't know. You guys probably saw it. Everybody just was kind of loose off the corners, and there's the arrow and everything. But it was really racy, and we were able to dice it up. I mean, there's you get on that inside lane, and yeah, you could dive it in there and really, really, get a run and dive it in there. But you just stall out because you can't use the rest of the track. The guys are up high, so it's just you gotta, like, when I did it on that restart. I felt it, felt like I could do it. Slid right in there and took the lead for a little bit, but really good racing by everybody. I was telling the guys in my room, I haven't grinned this much in a long time, so it was fun.
Yeah, man, listen, I know I get a big smile on my face every week that Tony and I climb into our Discord channel because, you guys put on some amazing racing. And before we cut you loose, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to tonight and tip your cap to?
Yeah, first and foremost, Bob, for putting on this league all these years. It's a lot of effort on his part, and it's a lot of fun, and you guys see what happens. And the guys that show up every week and race with us, we have a good time with them. A lot of, we just know each other, like I've said before, and kind of how to race each other, and we have a lot of fun. I'd like to thank my teammates. Let's see, tonight we had Bentley, Charlie, Paul, Fred, and Troy, and had a blast with all those guys. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Congratulations on Kyle on his win. He was great there, and Bentley on his 3rd place. And I also want to shout out to Ryan Steele. Haven't seen him on the track for a little while, and he was ready to race tonight. Man, he was flying.
All right, brother. Well, listen, we're going to cut you loose, but we appreciate you, and congratulations on that P2 finish here on the podium at Michigan International Speedway. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Be safe. Have a good rest of your week.
And now, Tony, I believe that you do have the man, the myth, the legend, Bentley Glazer in the broadcast booth.
Bentley Glazer, all things considered, can't be too disappointed with a top 3 finish here at Michigan.
Yeah, not bad. It was a good race.
Well, I mean, a lot of pit strategy trying to play itself out in the closing laps of this one. Do you think if you had to do all over again, you would make a different call?
Yeah, probably. I hated that the first caution came because I was just about to pit, and I wanted to do, because I was really good on like a 30-lap run, that first run. So I wanted to do 30 and then 30 and then have the last 20 just run it real hard. But that caution came out, and then it kind of split it into a 20, around a 20-lap run, and I don't know, just didn't have the time then. Also, sliding through pit road on my pit stop really hurt.
I was going to ask you if you missed your box on that money stop.
Yeah, I slid pretty far, and like, dang it.
Well, I mean, even the best make mistakes at times. But the good news is you are going to be coming out of Michigan tonight with the points lead as the season moves to New Hampshire. And do you think we're going to be having you hoist the lobster at the end of the race next week?
Oh, man. I don't know if I've won too many there. It's always a really good race, that's for sure. And I'm going to try it, but it's a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the mile at Loudon is not an easy track to get around at pace. But Bentley, again, congratulations on the podium here at Michigan. Who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate?
You guys as always, and WSRL as always, and then my teammates, LGR.
Bentley Glazer, congratulations. We'll see you next week at Loudon.
Thanks, man. See you.
Well, Tony,
Well-
another one in the books here at
You took
Michigan.
the words right out of my mouth, my friend.
Well, that's what happens after you develop that rhythm. I don't even know how I did it. So, with another one in the books here at Michigan International Speedway, we do look ahead to Loudon, New Hampshire next week. A different track for sure, but I got to say, I'm pretty sure that these drivers are going to be up to the test.
They always are week in and week out. No matter what we throw at these guys, they always seem to. The cream is going to rise to the top, it's not a real shocker as to who finished, in the top 10 tonight. Like you had mentioned during the mid race, great run out of the one of Julian Ricci. I think this is only his second or third top 10 of the season. But he's really starting to come on strong here late.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Julian Ricci, week in and week out, has been improving. So glad to see that out of him. I mean, to be honest, I'm getting kind of used to seeing his cheering section in our YouTube live chat. But,
And they were
every
there
driver-
tonight.
Absolutely. And every driver here just really deserves a good, solid tip of the cap tonight.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we saw a lot of action, and what did bring out the cautions, it wasn't anything malicious. It was just, oops, and overcooking it. That's really what it boils down to. So we saw what we kind of expected to see out of a Michigan race here with these guys. The fact that, the cream is going to rise to the top. As we saw, McCartney, Hollingsworth, and Glazer coming home with the victories there. Ryan Steele in fourth, Jeff Schmeier fifth, Dennis Husan, Bob Beltrami, Charles Woods, Julian Ricci, and Carl Burke rounding out your top 10. Paul Crumry right on the cusp of getting into the top 10, just barely missing out. As we do have quite a few trucks finishing on the lead lap, and that's something a lot of these guys should be very proud of.
Absolutely. And, Paul Crumry just missing the top 10 is followed by William Fletcher in the number 28 Ford, Rob Gall, Brian Barnes, Earl Weaver finishing out the 15th spot there, David Weaver, Scott Kukas, Darrell Scott, Javier Perez Torres, Wayne Fleet, Keith Kalman, Angelo Espo back in 22nd tonight, lost 11 spots from where he qualified at. Theo Bishop, Theo Bishop, your last lead lap truck, in the number 36 Toyota Tundra. Barry Phil in 24th, Dustin Burns in 25th, James Campbell, Eric Woods, Troy Campbell, Fred Williams, Russ Kilgore, Christian Bishop, and Alan Bergen round out the field tonight, Tony. And as always, we are definitely not disappointed whatsoever.
We never are when it comes to Western States Racing League. And if you like the action that you're seeing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications, because as Dave mentioned during the broadcast, we're doing this 6 nights a week. This week we're going 7 nights a week with the SRM 200 from Atlanta on Saturday. So that's going to be a great one to watch, as that is a money race, payout through the field. With the buy-ins that the drivers are putting up. And money races always bring some of the best of the best.
Absolutely, Tony. And as we get ready to wrap it up here, why don't you take us home and get us out the door?
Sounds like a grand idea, because I need to go make a detailed map of the inside of my own eyelids. But for Mr. Dave Regal, we do need to thank our good friends over at Cast Iron Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking Network for finally giving us the Beltrami Salami Pizza and giving us a shout-out. We do need to give them a shout-out. Thank you so much. As we are going to call it a night here from Michigan. For Mr. Dave Regal, this is Tony Trapasso, reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.